You're on with Study With Us. My name is Anna.
And my name is Israel.
And get down and get cozy. Today we're going to be talking about the brain. So now, let Israel tell you more.
Okay. Well, since we do a lot of learning in this channel, I figured that we should learn how the brain works first. And so that way we can have a better understanding of how our brain collects information. And if we can understand that, our learning journey will become a lot easier. So, here we go. Alrighty. Let's see. And so, this is what we will be basically learning: neurons, dendrites, and synapse. We'll start with neurons and what they are. And if you know, if you have any extra information you want to add to it, just put it in the comments section on the social stream, and we'll review them and we talk about them. So here we go. Okay, so neurons. Okay, Anna, you can go ahead and tell us more about the neurons.
Well, brain cells are called neurons. And when you're born, you at least have 100 billion neurons. And so, let me try to.
So brain neurons are cells of the brain?
Yeah, they're brain cells.
Brain cells. And by the way, this link on the top of our notepad, that's where we got some resources and information. So feel free to check it out. Well, I'll try to probably I don't know how to add it in the link, but you can just check it out. You can always just type "how do brains learn" naturally, and you should find the PDF. So, and it was let's see, I have it right here. It's by Catawba Valley Community College. So this is what we got some other information from what we've been studying, me and my sister. It's kind of trying to learn how our brains function better. And then she was saying brain cells are called neurons, and you're born with at least 100 billion neurons. And yeah, so let's see. We'll do some research on neurons. Okay, what neurons look like. Here we go, some images.
We're going, to images.
So I guess here we go. This probably looks nice.
And you want to know something I just noticed? Whoever's watched the movie, like the Spider-Man, the first one, when it shows like that he's changing inside, and it shows like his neurons are getting like different. That's just what that reminded me of.
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find like neuron. I don't want neurons connecting. I just want the neurons. Let's see. I guess maybe this is a neuron. Here we go. Nucleus, cell body. It has a lot of information here. We're not ready for that yet. Let's say we'll just pick out just a picture. Here we go. This is what a neuron looks like, and that's on our brains.
So, I even have a question myself. If you know the answer. A neuron. What are those little dots? Like those little the bright lights that are going.
Well, I think that's just probably pulses of information going through our neurons to other neurons.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll learn more about it. Let's see. So that's our neurons. That's how it looks in our brains. And neurons, they make this thing called dendrites.
Can
you tell us what dendrites are?
And I can't pronounce that right. Dendrites. They grow out of neutrons when you list to write about, talk about, or practice something. Dendrites can grow only from a dendrite fiber that is already there from something the learner already knows.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. So the more we learn, so we need to first learn something, and then those dendrites will continue growing.
Oh, and on the link, the one that we put right there, it has learning is natural. So they're putting it in a basic way if you don't understand it. For example, like the neurons, brain cells, how to grow. Dendrites, just like a stomach, knows how to digest food.
So they know how to grow. They know how to understand. Okay.
And the growth of dendrites, like the new dendrites take time to grow. It takes a lot of practice for them to grow. So it's like.
So I guess practice makes perfect. It's actually not just a saying, but it's actually a fact.
And we're getting a lot of our information from the website that my brother put a link to.
Yeah, just to check it out. It's always just interesting what you can find and all the things you can learn. So we gotta make sure our dendrites keep growing. And so now the next thing is the synapse. And let's find a picture of dendrites so we have a better understanding. And we'll see. And I'll tell you why we're showing you pictures and telling you this information and this and that. It all has to do with your brains. So let's find here. Let me go to the same one and let's look for dendrites. Here we go, dendrites. This is a good picture. Here we go. So it's too little. Basically, those little things like branches, those are the dendrites, and they grow. They grow out of our neurons.
They're like tree branches.
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, every little branch has its own memory.
Oh.
Or I guess its own. No, it wouldn't be his own. It'd be like his own storage room where he can keep growing and learning.
And that image that you showed up, it says like dendrites, cell body, and anoxin. So like I think like the cell body would probably be like the tree. The dendrites would be the tree branches, and the anaxion. How do you say that?
The axon.
The axon would be like the nutrients and the sugar that helps the tree grow.
So I can see that. And then the roots. And then the roots will pass information along. So basically, we are part of the world.
It's like nature, but it's with your cells. It's like growing a tree.
Yeah, it's like a tree grows. We could say that we're our brain is like a connection of trees, if it makes sense. Like because trees usually pass their nutrients along through the roots to other
like plants
and
other trees to get them like fiber to help them grow.
And they grow. Yeah, cool. All right, let's see. So let's move on to synapse.
Ooh.
Let's see, Anna. What are synapse?
I can't pronounce that word right. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right.
Synapse. I call it synapse. I don't know.
Synapse. A small gap that contacts a point is called the synapse. It sends messages to one neuron to another as electrical signals travel across the.
So it sends messages where?
It sends messages messages are sent from one neutron to another. So it's like it's an electrical signal travels across the synapse. So it's like when you're texting somebody, you're sending them a message and they're probably gonna send you back. So it's like it's kind of like messaging. They're sending like I would say like what's it called? Like vibrations, I guess. Like something similar to that, but not vibrations. Literally that.
Let's say here we go. Let's look for a picture so we can see. You can have a better understanding. So we can have a better understanding of what they're talking about. Let's try this one. Okay, here we go. Electrical signals are passed along. Let's see. Axon of previous neuron. Synapse right here. So they connect to other neurons, and that's where the information moves along.
And it seems like they're also connected to the dendrites.
So I guess this neuron tells the other neuron what it knows.
Yeah. So
How does that work?
So I started like a teacher telling their student
Mm-hmm.
what, like, that's what teachers do, like they pass what they know.
They pass the knowledge. Yeah. Let's see. I'm still trying to understand how the synapse work. Let's see. Trying to figure it out. Okay, let's look at some. Let's look at this. Look for synapses in this article. Here we go. So as we learn, specific dendrites grow so that specific neurons connect at specific nipsets to create large and more complex networks. Okay. Let me see. I need to find more about dendrites. Dendrites here, application.
There's a lot about like neutrons and dendrites.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a little bit difficult to
Let's
find.
do this. No. Here we go.
Here we go.
So small gap between. Okay. As we learn, specific dendrites grow so the specific neurons connect to specific neurons to create large and more complex networks. I guess if I have to make it, make my own assumptions, I would think that it's just a way for neurons to build from other neurons. So maybe a neuron doesn't have the information necessary to create another dendrite. It will ask its neighbor will have if he knows this information, and he'll probably borrow the signals to grow more dendrites. Not sure. We're gonna keep learning, but if anybody does know, just leave a comment. And we just have to keep just digging around the internet until we find the right answer. But anyways, yes.
And just don't get frustrated if you can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's we'll try to find it for you.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. And so yeah, basically we decided to understand more about the brains. But I think for me, I think the most important things to learn or understand is neurons, dendrites, and synapses, since they all connect our brains together and make us understand and learn. I mean, and the brain is so complex that we could never finish talking about it ever probably. But I mean, so much information comes along every year. Scientists keep growing on just all the findings that they have done on the brain. I mean, and it requires many special things on your brain to learn. Just like the way I show you these pictures, that helps you understand better how your brain looks and how it acts. And so that's the point of the images and showing you how it looks. I like to do that a lot when I'm trying to learn about something new, and it could be science, even math, history, anything. These images just help you have a better understanding. And I think Anna has some pretty cool facts about the brain that she wants to share.
Well, your brain produces like electricity, and your brain can generate enough electricity to power a 25-watt light bulb.
Hey, what? Can do
A
what?
25-watt light bulb. A light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
It's all that electricity that's passing through your brain. It's that strong enough to power up a light bulb.
Wow.
And I'm trying to choose from specific ones that I find most interested.
Mm-hmm.
And human brains aren't fully developed until around the age of 25, around to 26. That means that your brain...
So I still got a while to go. That's good. That's great. I can keep learning without no worries. Brain's the only object that can contemplate itself. I guess, I see what it means. It can think about itself. Because we were thinking about the brain, so it can contemplate about itself. Because since we're thinking about it, I guess that's a tricky one.
And I think there's about one more or two. Your brain uses at least 20% of the oxygen in your whole body. I think it's because it's the most important part that it's gonna need some.
I guess it does a lot of functions,
Yeah,
so it does
because
require a lot of oxygen.
like it says right here that about 3 times as much oxygen as your muscles need. So I guess that the muscles in our body, the oxygen that it like sucks up, I guess,
Mhm.
it it takes like 3 times as much oxygen that the brain does.
Okay,
In
that
a
makes
way.
sense.
That makes sense. I understand that.
And this is something that I found that I think is pretty interesting. It's kind of like a little map of how our brain takes the information around our brain, I guess. So it starts in front of let's start with number one. Input comes from our senses or is activated by thinking or memory. Information is routed to the thalamus for initial processing, right here. And three, simultaneously, the information is routed to the appropriate cortical structures for further processing. And it's called the occipital temporal lobe. Huh. Then number four, it is also immediately routed to a subcortical area, the amygdala. That's right here.
The
And number five, you know how to pronounce that? Amygdala. Amygdala. I don't know whoever come up with these names.
I'm sorry if we're not pronouncing this stuff
Yeah,
right.
but we're trying here. It is an emergency. Number five, it is an emergency stimulus. The amygdala will respond ASAP and recruit other brain areas. So I guess it must be a messenger. Okay, number six. Later information is sent to the hippocampus for more subtle evaluation and is held over time. And let's continue. Number seven. Over time, the hippocampus will organize, distribute, and connect the memories with other appropriate areas of the cortex for long-term storage. So it's a long process, and I think there's more in-depth stuff. It's just basically a little map. But our goal is just to learn more about the brain as we continue with this channel, so we can grow ourselves and we understand better the things that we don't understand now, and hopefully in the future we'll have a better understanding. And so that's our goal. And but this session is about the brain, and we'll have other sessions with that deal more with math, since it's our favorite subject. At least it's my favorite subject. What is your favorite subject?
Um, that's difficult. I like a lot.
Which one is your favorite?
I'm going to go with. It's very difficult.
Come on, just think about it.
Subject, I guess. Social.
Social studies? Okay, I guess we have to we'll have to make a session about social study and study some social studies, because I don't know much about social studies.
I love social studies.
So that'd be great. We can learn something about that. But today we learn about neurons, dendrites, and synapses. And these are one of the three main properties of our brain. And we'll probably in the next session of how the brain learns, we'll talk about more in depth what every part, like how we hear, how we read, how we see and hear, how we discuss with others, how we experience personally, and how we teach someone else affects how we learn. And we'll try to make it easy and understandable for you, so you guys can learn and then pass it on and teach someone else. And like always, this is a study group, so whenever you guys come back to this channel here in Ustream, you guys can come here and join us, me and my sister, and we can learn together. This is our main goal is, so everybody come here, we can talk about it, we can learn, we discuss ideas, and just have a good time. If you're having problems with the test, you can come here and practice. You can talk to us about whatever you're learning, and anything else like that. And
like you can leave us comments of like what you might be interested of learning next. So we can get ideas, and we probably can put something about that.
And so, like, yes, and if you're really interested in becoming like a regular study with us, fan or member or whatever you want to call yourself,
Part of the family.
part of the family, you send us a message.
Follow.
We'll follow. Whatever you want to do. Like I said, this is just me and my sister. We're learning as we are speaking right now. So it's what.
Oh, and if you want to see our first video, I
Mhm.
guess our first study session,
Yes.
it's on YouTube
Yes, we have a first one, and I'll try to leave the link on
in the description
on the
below.
description below. Uh, since we're broadcasting from Ustream, and that's how we're gonna be doing it. We're gonna have Ustream and YouTube, but Ustream is more so we can all interact and talk to each other and you know and just have a good time learning. YouTube is just if anybody wants to see the stations, the first stations we did in the past, you can. You know, it's not our goal is not really YouTube is mostly getting a community together so we can all just learn and continue our learning and pass it on to someone else.
Who probably needs help.
Yes. So thank you for watching, and
My name is Anna.
my name is Israel.
Just thank you for watching.
Yeah,
Bye.
see you later.